The other day, I made a video on the Object 268 version 4. It is a Tier 10 Soviet collector tank destroyer, a vehicle that features very nice alpha damage at 650, incredible frontal protection, and pretty solid mobility. And while the T110E3 might not check all those boxes, there are some areas that this vehicle performs much better than the 268 version 4 at. Personally, I believe that the E3 is better than the 268 version 4, and in today's video, I'll explain why. First of all, one of the most important reasons is gun depression. This vehicle features 8 degrees of it, which is enough to work basically any ridgeline. Being a tank destroyer, having really good armor, and being able to work a ridgeline allows this vehicle to actually be quite flexible, and when you're put on maps like Normandy, Dead Rail, Port Bay, you don't feel obligated to maneuver your tank in weird ways, and it's just weird in a V4 sometimes to drive it on certain maps that require gun depression. When driving an E3, whether you're on flat ground or you're hull down, the armor is mostly effective, even the lower plate's pretty hard to pen, and it's also the gun that's better. You see, the 268 version 4 features a heavy gun with Tank Destroyer Alpha, and this is a Tank Destroyer gun with Tank Destroyer Alpha. The vehicle's got 680 damage per shot. It's got really, really nasty HE, 1020 average damage, and the vehicle's got crazy pen, 300 on the standard, 394 on the premium. It's pretty dang insane. It's also got good DPM at 2,650. It's not great damage per minute. Actually, I think the V4 might have better, but I am running calibrated shells. You can get it up to about 2,800 if you're running rammer. I just don't think it's necessary. I like the high HE pen, so I stick with what it has currently. The major downside of the E3 compared to the V4 is the mobility department. The T110E3 reverses at a whopping 10 kilometers per hour, which is pretty atrocious, as you can imagine. It creates a very unenjoyable playstyle when you need to get in and out of position very quickly. You do feature super speed boost, which you can see I've activated right now, but it doesn't make enough of a difference in most situations to save you, because once it wears off, you only go 10. The track wheels are very poor on this vehicle, which is something that the Soviet tracks on the V4 don't really have to worry too much about. So there are definitely advantages that the V4 has. I'm not going to deny that by any means, but with so much pen, I mean, you can butter through armor like no tomorrow. That VK90 had no chance of bouncing our shell, where with the V4, the lower penetration heat might have actually struggled a bit. But yeah, this vehicle is not a tank you want to mess with in every situation. Now we have the TVP, who appears is gonna YOLO me. Let's see, what are you gonna do, bro? I'm not worried about the TVP as much as I'm worried about the players that are going to roll off to our side. And this is where that 10 reverse is really bad, because I need to get out of here. And in this tank, it's very hard to get out of our position when all I can do is reverse very, very slow. But I do get a nice shot into the enemy chieftain. We're just going to wiggle and keep on wiggling. There you go. Nice bounce from the VZ. Now we're going to back up. 3, 2, 1, and we're going to aim at an HE on the lower plate of the TVP. And there you go, 906. See, that is why the E3 feels absolutely monstrous, because the alpha damage is nasty. And when you pair the alpha with the fact that we pen through basically everything, it's just a little dang insane. There you go. Shot right through the hatch of the VZ55, and it looks like the TVP is going to be making a bit of an aggressive maneuver here. I'm going to see if we can stop him from doing that, though. We're going to put on our super speed boost, and yeah, that's what I thought, you stinker. Alright, let's move up, and let's clear the chieftain. There you go, easy shot. And I mean, it's over already. The mouse and I single-handedly won our team this game by just holding the enemy tanks. What are they going to do when we're just here stopping them? So, I might lose a lot. Yeah, I did. But I'm not dead. I just find it more funny that the enemy TVP would rather shoot me than the other players. That's a little ironic, I think. Now, if the Aglo's heat, I don't think he'll kill me. So, yeah, there you go. We actually got a bounce as well. I mean, I don't think I need to say much else as my argument for this vehicle. The armor is just incredible. The damage output is super duper dangerous. And, Okay, we still got the shell out. The Yo jumped on the, the Yag. Well, he jumped on me, and it put my camera backwards because for some reason it merged with, like, the Yo's, so I had to turn it all the way around. Either way, our first game was a very good example of this tank's capabilities. 4,864 damage, a first class. We didn't block too much, but to be fair, we didn't need to. Nobody wanted to push us, and with the mouse being on our side, he was actually a great teammate. So it's very rare to have people support you. That mouse was actually quite good. It's always nice to have a chunk of HP. So yeah, first battle, not bad. And that's why I really enjoy the E3. I mean, the V4 probably would have done just as well in that situation, although we wouldn't have been able to HE the lower plate of the enemy TVP. We wouldn't have probably penned that VK90 in the beginning. So it would have been a little bit more challenging to deal as much damage. Also, working gun depression obviously is painful because you don't have a lot. But that reverse speed did feel very painful. If the enemy medium, chieftain, VZ55 were smart, they would have kept going on the side after I shot, they would have gotten behind me, and they would have cleared me. If I was in something like a 268 version 4, I easily would have been able to just back up, and I probably would never even had to worry about being flanked. But in a vehicle like the E3, you always have to worry about that type of situation unfolding. So here we are in game number 2. We have 2 Object 260s, one of which doesn't have a camo. That's not very good, I'm going to be honest, especially because they are in platoon. So, oh boy, we'll see. We'll see. That's all I can say. I am going to head to town. I don't know how our team's going to cooperate together, but the E3 is a heavy tank at the end of the day. And I'm going to try and put it towards heavy side. You want to be near your teammates when you're driving this vehicle because it's a tank destroyer. And its biggest weakness, as I said, are the track wheels. So you always want to make sure you are with teammates. Now, a little surprising to see our 260 going mid, judging that they don't have any gun depression to work mid, but okay. Interesting decision, to say none the least. We'll see what pushes over here. They have a Kron, AMX-50B, Yag. I mean, they got some nasties. Type 68 got spotted in mid. I do have a 114 at least as some support. We're just going to push right here for now. This is a pretty good spot just for some early game cover, but I have a feeling they're not pushing this way. If our 114 doesn't spot anything, which he doesn't, I would suspect that their team is more likely pushing, yeah, all the way over there. Okay, well, we're going to push up. Let's see. Aiming at the 50B, and come on, poke it again. There you go. Nice 656 damage shell into his vehicle. Alright, I mean, this is most likely a loss, I'm going to be honest. Our team is going to try and kill this Type 68, and they're going to get nuked for it. Let's aim it on the 50B. There you go. Another nice shot. Bit of a low roll, but we actually are getting bleeds out. That 50B is making massive misplays, which is allowing us to get big chunky shells into his vehicle. Let's see, we got the Kron in the back. I don't love this situation, but what I'm hoping is when the concept gets to the rear of that T110E5, he's going to pull forwards, and then he's going to push the 260. But maybe that's not the case. Let's see, we got the Yag in the back, aiming, still aiming, and there you go. Man, we are getting low rolls like crazy today. Every single shell that we fire is low rolling. Okay, well the 50B's dead, which is actually quite important. Got the Kron off to the side. Let's see if I can get a shell into the Kron. Aiming, and that definitely penned. Alright, well let's put on our super speed boost and back on up. But yeah, great example. Again, the E3, it's a juggernaut when it comes to the gun. It's such a hard vehicle to deal with because of the fact that it just butters through armor. And when you pair that with the incredible protection that the vehicle features, it's just a super hard target to deal with. So I am a little worried about the Yag, but I'm also not incredibly worried because the Type 68 looks like he has decided to go towards mid. Bit surprising to be real. There's the Type 68. There you go. Finally, a decent roll as well. 707 into his vehicle. That brings us over 3,000 damage at this point, which is obviously pretty solid. I'm going to try and support the concept at this point. Looks like their team is indeed losing this quite a bit at that. Got the Yag, and yeah, that's what I thought, bruh. You don't want to fight me. Alright, looks like the Kron has moved, so let's just try and clear this Yag right now. Aiming, and bonk. Look at that. I mean, again, the gun on this vehicle doesn't care about your armor. It doesn't care about how much pen you have. It'll just go right through you. Concept finishes off the enemy Yag. Good job from that guy. We got the Kron off to the side. I'm not really sure what this Origin player is doing, to be completely real, because he's about to lose. Oof, 660 off his vehicle right there. That's gotta hurt you, bruh. And now the Concept's gonna shoot you in the rear as well. Well, he bounces your rear, but he tries. Let's see, we got the Type 68, and that is the last player left that really has HP on their team. We're gonna activate our super speed boost while climbing uphill. That should allow us to at least achieve some sort of speed, and bonk, 850. That is a nice roll. We are at 5,000 damage at this point, and a very, very easy win. All that's left is the enemy Kron. So, yeah, actually a surprisingly good battle. I don't know what their team is doing, but the 50B was the start of the failure. I mean, that guy was probably one of their biggest threats because he can obviously clip anything for 1,540, but he appears to have really misplayed his vehicle. Our 260s did alright, I'll give them credit. They didn't bleed too much, they held, they did their job, so while I had my doubts in the beginning, I'll give them credit. And, yeah, not a bad game at all, so there you have it. I really like the E3, and it's a vehicle that you might see me rolling around in the battlefield every now and then. I would highly recommend to grind this vehicle if you want a 268 version 4, but better, in my opinion. I don't think the accuracy of the V4 would have been able to hit the majority of these shells here. We did 5,300 damage, easily top on the team. No real struggles whatsoever. So hopefully enjoyed today's... Okay, well... hopefully enjoyed today's video. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.